Hello, this is Mustafa here at PerformanceiN, and we're really excited to have a conversation today with Neil Robbins, who is the CEO of Silverbean and AGY47. How's it going, Neil?
Very good, Mr. Yeah, thanks for inviting me on this afternoon. I've taken some time out. It's red hot outside, so I've come in from the sunshine to have a good chat with you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. And yeah, we're really excited to kind of catch up. We've been hearing actually a lot of good things or what's been happening over the last few months from you guys. So yeah, really good to kind of get your insight in terms of what's been happening, and also obviously it's been a really game changer few weeks across the board. So I'm sure we'll be touching on that as well. So I guess the first question off the bat is first of all, we hope your team are keeping well and safe. Just generally, how have things been for both of the agencies during this time?
Yeah, so clearly it's been a very interesting time, like it has for everybody else. So we were in the process of moving offices actually when this all started. So the week before the lockdown came in, all of our people were working from home that week anyway, because we'd undertaken an office move. We fortunately had managed to find a stunning new office just around the corner from where we were. So we took the decision, obviously, a number of months ago to move, and that we were in the process of moving everybody in, and then this obviously happened. So everybody at Silverbean and AGY47 has been working from home for a week longer than most people in the country because it was enforced on them by the office move. Apart from that, I think we've got through it pretty well. As a digital agency or two digital agencies, we have all the right IT and software systems in place anyway. So working from the cloud, everyone being mobile with laptops and other devices is normal for us. So the disruption from a business operations point of view has been negligible really, and everyone's settled in well. I think like all these sort of things, it's more the mental health and the psychology side of the challenge for the last 10 or 11 weeks, because whilst we operate a fully flexible working model in our agency, so people can work from wherever they want to work at any time. The fact of the matter is most people do like to be in the office for some period in the week, and of course that's been taken away from them. So we've had to focus hard on just giving our people that extra support to make sure that their mental health doesn't suffer. We've done a number of different things. The managers have been brilliant in the companies to work with their teams on that. We've had extra mental health training from outside providers. So we've tried to keep people's morale up and keep their spirits up whilst they navigate through this. And of course, like others, we have some people that live alone. So up until pretty recently, they've had very little contact with the outside world apart from their colleagues on Zoom and Google Hangout calls. So, but all in all, our operations have been fine. Our work with clients has been absolutely fine. We've of course seen a little bit of a hit in the travel and leisure sectors with some of our clients for obvious reasons. But most of our client work is in retail and e-commerce, and we've seen significant uplift in performance for all those clients through the work that we do. So that's obviously been a positive sign for the last 2 or 3 months.
Cool, brilliant. Thanks, Neil. No, it sounds exciting. What's been happening, and it's great to see kind of that human side as well. There's been a lot of sort of questions, in terms of how's everyone kind of bringing strategies together. And I think kind of it's great to see that kind of human element and just making sure keeping everyone connected on a physical level, and just make sure because it's been really changing on a personal level for a lot of people. And I think kind of hearing what you just said now, and similar stuff that we've heard over the last few weeks, it's brilliant to see. So it's really good to see kind of that kind of core human element, regardless of what sector and everyone's in at the moment. It's great to see. So yeah, that's a great update. So yeah, thanks for that, Neil. I guess we're kind of touching on some of the last 6 months. So I'm going to sort of touch on sort of Silverbean a little bit. It's kind of been an impressive few months for you guys. You've got some new client wins, kind of Trainline, Hostel World, got a Secret Escape, just to name a few. So could you kind of tell us a little bit more about those kind of new relationships that you kind of built, and kind of what does this mean kind of for the agency going forward?
Yeah, so I think you're right. They are 3 brands that we've recently started working with, amongst others. I think it's a reflection really, the calibre of the sort of brands they are in terms of their public profile. It's a reflection of the work we've been doing over the last couple of years to create far more of a premium offering around our affiliate and partner marketing services for Silverbean. So we're very focused on working with brands that have got strong ambition through affiliates and partners to do really well. So it's not always a channel that is taken as seriously as most other performance channels. We are seeing that trend change. We certainly have seen that trend changing over the last 18 to 24 months. But we work very hard to build out an offering that is suitable to work alongside in-house teams to build performance. So there are 3 clients where there's great examples where they have in-house affiliate partner managers, and they brought us in to work alongside their existing teams to build out long-term results both in the UK and on a global level. Fortunately for us, during this COVID situation, we've also picked up some other clients. We've seen an increase in demand for affiliate services, particularly. I think that obviously the clear correlation between measurable performance and impact on the bottom line against investment would always see this channel favour in these times, and we anticipate that continuing through the rest of 2020. So I think in terms of the clients you mentioned, we're obviously delighted to be working with them, and I'm hoping we'll have a few more of that calibre to share with you in due course.
Cool, that sounds really exciting. Great stuff. And kind of touching on kind of a little bit about the kind of affiliate performance channel a little bit. Yeah, I know there's been kind of big talking point sort of around sort of advertising marketing budgets being cut, and also, you know, pausing and closing affiliate programs. So I know that's kind of been a big talking point kind of from brands and kind of affiliates alike. So kind of for some brands doing, you know, there has been talks around that, but there are some brands that are actually doing the opposite and sort of increasing investment in other sort of channels and areas. Kind of first of all, what are your thoughts on this? And does this mean a chance for, say, kind of other marketing channels such as, you could say PPC, or, you know, podcasts, or, you know, for instance, you know, something that's a bit more innovative, kind of shine on a performance level?
So what we've seen ourselves in the last 10 to 12 weeks is some pausing of activity through paid social and paid search. That is starting to return. So our May levels of investment and activity are equal to February. So that's moving in the right direction. So there was a temporary pausing of activity around some of the e-com and retail clients. Obviously, travel clients pretty much ceased all spend as soon as the travel industry sort of broke down for a period of time. From an affiliate perspective, we've seen a 53% increase in channel spend in the last 10 or 12 weeks. Now, of course, a lot of that is commission linked and reflects, of course, the increase in performance of that particular channel. So we've seen some interesting trends in respect of channel spend over the last couple of months. In relation to sort of the second part of your question there around the opportunities for channels moving forward, I think for all of us that work in performance marketing, or most of us in performance marketing, we're in a very good position, of course, because whilst marketing budgets are clearly scrutinised by businesses when there's an economic impact like we've just had in the short space of time, what we've seen with most of our clients is that where they may be cutting spend elsewhere, in fact, they've either been increasing spend through performance channels with us, or at least maintaining. My understanding is that's fairly consistent across the sector. So fortunately, when we hit times of hardship, economic hardship, and the same happened to us in sort of 2008, 2009, we see a maintain or increase in investment because of the transparent and measurable performance that businesses see through these channels. So that's been great. We've seen, I mean, you talk about podcasts and other channel opportunities. I think one of the big opportunities out there, again, is content. I mean, we've obviously all been talking about content for a long time. So I think what brands are likely to see with the forecasted continued increase in e-commerce spending from consumers as they've moved from store to online, and the expectation is that obviously a good percentage of those people will continue with that new trend for them as individuals. Competition levels are going to increase for customers' spend, and brands are going to have to start to be more creative in how they use those channels. So content's going to be very, very important. It's been interesting to see Google release early their new Google shopping approach. Of course, we've seen Shopify come to market with their shopping marketplace. We've seen Facebook and Instagram come to market now with their shops offering. So there's going to be a huge play amongst the big platforms and media providers for e-commerce spend. That, I believe, will open up considerable opportunities for brands as well as agencies like us who look after those brands. So there's going to be an interesting battle out there amongst the Googles and the Shopifys and the Amazons and the Facebooks of this world over the coming months and years, which of course will open up opportunities. I think in terms of how brands creatively approach this, then the customer experience is going to become absolutely critical. And there's a lot of brands who unfortunately still fail to do a great job when it comes to online customer experience. There's some who do a brilliant job. But that's certainly going to be an area where brands are going to have to invest, which isn't necessarily to do with performance marketing, but of course, as we start to see an increase in competition for consumer spend, then the experience that brands are giving their customers online is going to become absolutely essential.
Cool, brilliant. Thanks, Neil. And yeah, I think it's definitely a game-changing time for both brands and consumers. So it'll be interesting to kind of see that sort of shift maintains, or will it shift back in a few months? So, but yeah, certainly an exciting time, that's for sure. And I think some brands, as you mentioned, yeah, some people have already been adaptive to it, position themselves well, others are still catching up. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that kind of pans out. Yeah, I guess my next question, kind of like others, the coronavirus pandemic has impacted the obviously performance marketing industry, as we're discussing. But I guess from an agency perspective, also kind of both from Silverbean and kind of AGY47's angle, kind of what trends have you kind of noticed in the last sort of, say, 8 to 12 weeks that's kind of affected the channel? Whether, we talked about programs and paused already, but stuff like, relationships, and I know there's also verticals that sort of, you've seen certain verticals that have gone up, whereas others have been dropped in terms of spend. So there's any particular trends that sort of stood out for you?
Yeah, there is some interesting trends actually. There's a lot of trends information out in the market at the moment, of course. So I wanted to perhaps share some more tactical trends with you from what we're seeing, because there is a lot of sort of industry-based trends information out there already. So from a search perspective, what's been really interesting is the shift from desktop to mobile. So when we look at January and February in comparison to May, there's a shift from 53% to 77% of search impression share coming on mobiles versus desktop. Now, of course, that would correlate with people working from home, working off iPads, perhaps having the ability to use their personal devices differently than they would do at work. So that's a consistent trend across e-com channels. We've seen a very interesting consumer trend again around search, where there's been a 44% increase in search impressions between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m., but a 17% reduction 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, what that might suggest to us, of course, is with so many people working from home, there's no managers looking over shoulders, there's no one working in public offices, so their personal search habits might be more likely to be undertaken in the morning. Whereas what we'd normally expect to see, obviously Monday to Friday, is that activity taking place in the evening when they come home from work. So again, the search impression share trends are telling us that consumers are changing their behaviour, and we can only put that down right now to the fact that most people are obviously working from home or being based at home. We are seeing retail spend return. So for May, our client retail spend around paid search has been the equivalent of what it was January and February. So that's a good sign. That wasn't the case in April for sure. We've seen I think it was a 52% increase in channel spend through affiliate marketing. One of the great metrics we've seen improved performance on through affiliate marketing in the last 10 weeks has been the increase in order active affiliates. So our teams have been working very hard, of course, as they do all the time, to build the right affiliate relationships on behalf of clients to drive more orders in. But we've seen a 25% increase in order active affiliates, which I think the important thing with that is to know that the channel is adding value by the clients that we're working with, of course, is building out that network of valuable partnerships, which can always be under question sometimes from brands. So that's been a great sign. Closed user groups have been a big win for us through our affiliate partnerships. So again, there's been some interesting trends around that in terms of those closed user groups, and we've seen, I think, a 53% increase in sales coming through from those type of affiliate partnerships. So yeah, there's been some very interesting sort of channel-specific trends. The trends, generally speaking, in terms of sales performance, that they reflect what you'll read elsewhere. We've got clients in subscription. Sales numbers are up significantly, triple digits. We do a lot of work with a global beauty company. I mean, some of their brands that we're working with, we're up on thousands of % in sales growth, partly reflected by stores being closed, of course, not always just down to the channel or our work, but certainly a combination of factors clearly. It's just one of the interesting trends that we've seen just in the last week has been travel bookings coming back in. So we work with a small number of travel clients, and we're just starting to see some early bookings for later this year. So there's some optimism coming now from our travel clients as people start to look forwards rather than just look at the present day. So range of interesting trends. Yeah.
Cool. That's great to hear. That's great to hear, especially on the travel as well, because I know we did a recent sort of travel roundtable discussion, and we were sort of talking about kind of how the industry will kind of bounce back. But yeah, I think it's good to see bookings coming through in that regards. Just a quick question on that, I guess, on the travel side. Do you reckon do you reckon it'll be an uphill trend of sort of staycations? That was sort of be a big uptake on that for the time being until kind of regulations restrictions kind of sort of dwindle down a bit over the course.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly would expect to see that. Just from a personal point of view, we do work with a client who is focused on UK holidays. They are starting to see a big upturn in bookings. We're just about to start working with another company that also is a UK based or is providing UK holidays. I know they are also starting to see an upturn in sales bookings. So I think demand for staycations is going to be high. We do a lot of work with Hayes Travel, who have become quite famous fairly recently because of their acquisition of Thomas Cook last year, and they're starting to see big demand for winter holidays. I mean, they brought a lot of their sales staff back out of furlough fairly recently. It was in the press because they're seeing a significant increase in demand for winter holidays. So I suspect providing the places like Lanzarote and Tenerife are able to look after customers properly, then winter holidays are going to be significantly in demand.
Cool, great stuff. And that brings over to my next question. I think we might have already touched this kind of that sort of big shift to digital. I know we just got to discuss some of the trends already. Do you think it's sort of time for brands to kind of be a bit more creative in a way that sort of target consumers? So I know we mentioned about some brands already kind of been ahead of the curve and sort of been adaptable as others are still catching up. So is this now the prime time to be a bit more adaptive and creative in sort of their targeting?
Very much so. I think social commerce is clearly going to play out in a very different way now, particularly with Facebook and Instagram launching their shop proposition. So I think links back to what we said just shortly about content. And content and video are going to become critical. I mean, I haven't got any stats on the increase in use of TikTok, but if my household's anything to go by, it's pretty considerable, because I think I'm the only one who's not constantly glued to a phone looking at TikTok videos for the last 10 weeks. Again, that type of emerging platform obviously opens up all sorts of interesting opportunities. Now, the fact is with social media, it's never always been as measurable from a sales perspective as other performance channels have been. But I think that's where brands are going to have to take a different mindset to it, because there is going to be a huge amount to win when it comes to producing brilliant, innovative, unique content and using the channels as a mechanism to distribute and engage with audiences. So I agree 100% with where you're going with the question in terms of the need to be more creative. That doesn't always drive direct transactions as part of the customer journey. Often it's the start of the customer journey, and sometimes when you look at from a measurement perspective, the actual last clicks come through paid search or even through some of the affiliate partners. The fact is those customer buying journeys are starting elsewhere. So I do anticipate brands are going to need to be far more creative to stand out, because again, as I mentioned before, I see competition growing because more brands are going to be far more focused on their e-commerce businesses than they were before. We expect out in Australia, where we opened up an office last year, that Australian brands are going to invest more heavily in their e-commerce operations off the back of this. The market's not quite been as mature as the UK, so we do anticipate a growth in investment into e-commerce over there. And again, competition levels are going to rise, and therefore brands have to find a way of standing out.
Cool, great stuff. No, that's good there. I think we've got a couple more questions. So I guess kind of touching on sort of let's talk about your growth and sort of we mentioned about new client wins for Silverbean, but let's talk about sort of the AGY 47 side of things as well. So you recently launched an APAC, so first of all, congrats on that. And sort of with the region sort of being one of the most prospering at the moment in terms of the digital market, kind of where does that sort of take Silverbean in the future?
So we've got some interesting developments. So we opened up in Australia on the ground last year. We've got 3 people at the moment. That team is now set to grow with new clients coming on board. So we've had a very good first year. Very happy with the progress we made in the first year. COVID slowed us down a little bit. Our momentum was great coming into back end of February into March, but of course that slowed down. But we anticipate that returning, of course, soon enough. Our strategy is to cement our offering on the ground in Australia with the team that we've got. We're going to be building out the team this year. We expect to recruit 6 or 7 new people in the next 12 months into Sydney. And next year in 2020, back into 2021, we will be looking at our investment into the wider APAC region in terms of building our teams in other territories. So there's a lot of demand in Australia directly to target consumers across the wider APAC region. We know there's obviously demand in the UK and Europe and also the US for some brands to have more of an APAC focus. So we're looking to connect the global offering together in a very different way over the next 2 years. That is a major part of our business strategy for Silverbean. So the move into Australia was a significant strategic move for us in that respect. So it has gone well so far, and I'm confident it will continue to go in that direction.
Cool, great stuff. And that sort of brings me nicely to sort of the last question. So kind of discussing, it sounds like you got a lot of exciting plans coming up, which is great, especially happening in APAC since your recent launch. So kind of speaking about the future and kind of granted, we're all going, sort of going through significant change at the moment. Kind of what other plans or projects do you have in the pipeline that we should keep an eye out for both agencies?
Yeah, so we have a lot. We have a lot. We're just about to share our new 3-year plan with everybody in both agency brands over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So yes, as we've just discussed, there APAC is an important area for us. We were due to open our US operation for Silverbean in October this year. That's gone on hold for obvious reasons. My flight to New York got cancelled in April when I was going out to meet with some potential people to head up the operation for us out there. So that's on hold until we anticipate Q2 in the new year. So probably between April and June, we'll open up our US operation. So again, that's an important strategic move for us to join up this global offering I've just talked about. We'll certainly expect to be doing more in Europe. So in terms of our global affiliate marketing activity, it's pretty extensive at the moment, but we expect that to grow considerably over the next couple of years. So we work across most European territories for Silverbean and AGY 47. So we expect there to be more demand for global services, and we're working very hard to continue to build out a brilliant offering for that. In terms of sort of more tactical level, we're building our proposition around brand-to-brand partnerships, which is an area that, of course, Nick Yates talks to you about quite extensively. So we are seeing growing demand for brands to want to engage in those discussions, and we're going to make sure we've got a strong offering for the brand-to-brand partnership area. And of course, I've just been talking about social commerce, and it's so important to us. We work, with so many e-commerce brands that it's important that we have a strong offering for them in the social commerce area as well. So that will fall under the AGY 47 brand, and we'll certainly be doing a lot more there. So overall, we've got some great developments in terms of our service offering coming to play over the next 12 months, and our international expansion will continue as well.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks, Neil. That sounds really exciting, and it's great. It's great to hear generally that both agencies are kind of prospering and doing well. Particularly these kind of challenging 3 weeks. But no, it sounds great. Sounds like you've got some exciting things planned. So yeah, we do wish you kind of all the best with those. And yeah, do keep in touch and sort of let us know what's happening and stuff, and then anything we can do to kind of help out and support sort of people in the performance marketing space. Yeah,
we've got new head of marketing starting on July the 1st, so I'm sure she will happily take you up on that offer.
Cool, great stuff, awesome. No, Neil, thank you again for taking the time to speak to PerformanceiN today. And yeah, great to hear what's happening with Silverbean and AGY 47. So brilliant
Great.
stuff. Yeah,
thanks, Mr. Wynn. Best of luck.
Yeah, you too. And yeah, we'll speak to you soon.
Take care.
Take care.